being clearer, but when we keep saying, this shall be amended as follows, and what was changed? I don't know, pardon me? I mean, everybody at this table has gone through this for the last, well, Jim's a lot longer than I have, to see these things, but somebody in the public, if they don't know what the amendment was and what we struck out, I think we need to show that.
I can provide that to the council.
To us, I think we don't know it, but I think if somebody picked up this packet, they wouldn't know what we're taking out, what we're amending.
Right.
That's all. But I think it's very well done, because we need, this is a lot better than what we got, for sure.
Is there no other comments on a motion on this?
I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve from Councilman Spear. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilman Howard. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. So ordered. Moving on to second reading. Item 7, Councilman Howard, discussion for possible action. Direct City Police Chief to conduct a traffic study regarding possible future removal of the over stop signs at the following locations: Murray Street and First Avenue, Murray Street and Third Avenue, and Murray Street and Annand Avenue, and to provide the results of that traffic study to the city engineer in order for both officials to make recommendations at the city council meeting following completion pursuant to City Code 6-3-2B.
Hey, we brought this up earlier in the year, but the road was under construction, so we agreed to wait till the pavement's done on it. So at this time the pavement's done, a little curb work, but let the finish. So that's why it's back on this agenda.
I'll entertain a motion on this. If there are other thoughts on it.
I'll make the motion.
Motion from Councilman Howard. Do I have a second?
I'll second that one.
Second from Councilman Spear. Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Ed seems excited about that.
I am.
Oh, good.
I get to look when I got up in that street, and all of a sudden I went to a freaking stop sign.
It's true.
You know what the cops do when you do that.
Let's not have any confessions here. Item 8, Councilman Howard, discussion for possible action. Review of city police chiefs and city engineers' recommendations in regards to the removal of stop signs on North Street at the following intersections based upon traffic study: Ogden Avenue and North Street, and possible direction that a public hearing be held prior to council's final action to remove the signs. And you have the sheriff's recommendation there. His note says traffic study at North Street and Nevada Avenue.
Yeah, I talked to Kurt Lee about that. That's where the sign was put up there, the machine. So, but it's
That
still,
makes sense.
you know, this was on the last agenda. I was unable to attend, so they tabled it for me to give me my 2 cents worth on it. I think basically I'd like to endorse what the city engineer recommended. In my opinion, that is not a 4-way stop. It's just conglomerated mess. A lot of traffic comes down Avenue C, that's why you got so much traffic all the way through there. That's a quick access down through there. You know, I don't think we should be putting stop signs up to slow traffic down as a traffic control thing. That's what you have law enforcement for. And that's just not a 4-way stop. It's real confusing in my opinion. So that's why I brought it up. I had several people say, on the North Street side, that's where we would remove the signs.
And there was a recommendation from the sheriff at the last meeting that if we were going to go ahead and do that, I believe he recommended putting up a sign at the end of Ogden there that read "Cross traffic does not stop," so people do that. Is that? That was your recommendation? I'm sorry. I will give the credit to BJ. That was his recommendation. With that, we'll entertain a motion from the council on what they'd like to do on here.
But there's one question.
Yeah.
If the stop signs are removed from North Street, cross traffic signs do not stop, should be installed on the Ogden stop signs. There.
So when you pulled up to that stop sign, it would say
Okay.
cross traffic doesn't stop, so they.
Right. Thank you.
What's the pleasure of the council on this?
I'll make the motion to go along with the city engineer's recommendations on that stop sign issue.
Motion from Councilman Howard. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilwoman Williams Harper. Any further discussion? I guess I misremembered that. I think Sheriff Henright's recommendation was that we look at
Not taking them off.
well, not taking them off, but if we do take them off, that maybe we look at another intersection for,
So I'm not sure about that.
so that it wasn't just an unrestricted,
He may have said something along that because you go for so long without a stop sign along there, but one of the things I think he also discussed was maybe putting up something like, hey, let everybody know, hey, in the future, we're taking the stop sign down here shortly. That's, I think, what-
like one of those signs that says new traffic pattern or
New
something
traffic,
like
have
that.
something going on here that, hey, pay attention, we're gonna be changing this up right here. Because they've been so used to this four-way for a couple
Hopefully that decision would be better than the cluster at the junction. That intersection up there is crazy. Just go dig that thing up.
Oh gosh, let's not wait for that one. We have a motion and a second on the floor. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried and so ordered. Item 9, city members, city treasurer Trask, discussion for possible action. Approve budget committee's recommendation of America Rescue Plan expenditures to include modify or exclude the following. The Ely Volunteer Fire Department's request to increase driver only on first out ambulance stipends by $50 per month and station manning stipends by $20 per call for the remainder of fiscal year 2022. And White Pine Ministerial Association's request for $6,000 to be used for food baskets and the community Christmas dinner.
Okay, there's a correction.
Yes, ma'am.
That, that said 50 per month should be 50 per call. Is what they're requesting. An additional 50 per call for the first driver ambulance out and an additional $20.
So the letter's correct, the agenda is not.
Yes.
Okay. And you guys have,
I-
council has that letter in there. in the packet.
Yeah, and I checked with Leo and he said that this is allowed for modification, so it wouldn't be a problem.
Is there anything that you would like to add on that?
No, just, part of the reason this got brought back is, this was just one of the items, two of the items were missed on the initial listing, of the stipends that we do pay. And so it was felt that we needed to have them spelled out and brought before the council and not just like blanket approval with the others, so, just two of them that got overlooked, so.
Okay.
And I would request that you either retroactive it to the 1st of November or make it the 1st of December to keep payroll easier to deal with.
So say that again. When does this go into effect?
But either you could approve it to retro it back to the 1st of November, or if you want to start at the 1st of December. Or, excuse me, December, not January. Move that retro it back to the 1st of December. I'm sorry, the months are flying by. Or make it effective the 1st. It would make payroll easier if we started at the beginning of one of the months.
That's a recommendation. I do go with that. We need to make it simple.
And just, do you want the December to start?
That's all right. I think that's best just for simplicity, other than the 7 calls today. So I just think, approve it
That's
tonight.
what,
And then we have Pastor Winder here about the Ministerial Association's request and his backup documentation for that as well. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Pastor?
I think I could probably add a lot of that. You gotta remember, I am a pastor, and you got to invite me to start adding things.
Well, as one pastor told me, I write shorter sermons, but I get too lazy to stop.
Okay, I did have a conversation with the mayor concerning this. And how we always do this is always donations and volunteers, even the money we have is donated. And so it's very difficult for me personally to look at how much does it cost, because it's not a money-driven thing for the Ministerial Association. We are an ecumenical association, 501c3. And from what I understand,